Welcome back to the podcast, KP More Than a Voice. Today we have a very, very special guest, someone I cherish deeply, and I love deeply. My sister, Spencer. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. Happy to be here on this wonderful podcast.
I
Thank
got you
you,
giving you a
thank you,
cheers.
thank
Yes,
you.
yes, yes,
Yes,
yes,
thank
yes.
you. But yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thank
Okay.
you for having me.
So how'd you feel when I first asked you to be in my podcast?
Low key, about time. I feel like I should have been the first. No, I'm just kidding. No, I was very honored. I think it's definitely something that you had to ask. Like I wouldn't have been like, so what's up with my podcast time?
hmm
So I was excited.
I appreciate that because a lot of people do ask me to be on my podcast, and it's kind of I feel bad because I'm really gonna say like no, or I'm just
Yeah.
not gonna answer.
Yeah, well, I would say no too because it's mine. So you can't
You can't just
invite
take over my
yourself
podcast
onto my yeah,
whenever you want to.
exactly. So makes
Understandable.
sense.
Understandable. So like every other podcast guest that
hmm
comes on here, I have to ask, how's your mental health?
My mental health is good. My mental health is good. I don't know why that question
Made you chuckle?
yeah, it caught me off guard because today for some reason my day just sucked and I really don't know why.
Let's hear about it.
That's the interesting part about it was that nothing bad happened. I just was not feeling like me today to the point where because obviously I'm at mommy's house right now and I go home tomorrow to Las Vegas in the morning. So um mommy's just kind of like, "Well, what's wrong? You've been quiet all day." And I have, but I didn't know why. So
Were you a little sad that you're leaving again?
no,
So you're
honestly
not sad? So that's it. You want to go back home?
no, it's not that I want to go back home. I just think that home is where the usual routine and stuff lies, especially with my kids being in mommy's house. It's a lot going on all the time. And when I'm home, I'm able to be like, get the fuck out of my
Understandable.
room, go in the living room, go in one of y'all's rooms. It's just more room for me to have more of like a mental break throughout the day because I do work from home. So when I'm working all day and then my 4 year old is busting in the door and it's like, Mommy, can I have jello? And I can't have you talking to me when I'm on the phone talking to someone about their eyeglasses. So, yes, I just think it takes a toll, and then I also hate driving.
Got you.
So the fact that I have to drive 4 hours tomorrow is also kind of stressing me the fuck out.
Got you. Can you explain to the people because you just said talking about eyeglasses? That's kind of random as hell. So can you explain what you were talking about?
Yeah, so in my job right now, I work for an eyewear company. I am a customer service advisor. So people call me to get assistance with placing their orders or to complain about issues with their eyeglasses, to place lens replacement orders, exchanges, stuff like that.
Okay. So what's like the best story that you can give me through your eyeglass company? Because you have to be on the phone. So with people who don't know, she has to be on the phone with older people a lot. So older people don't, don't be giving a damn about what you're talking about. So you have a couple stories or a story that sticks out to you, or you got cussed out a couple times.
Yeah, actually, I did have a situation a couple weeks ago that pissed me off. Completely pissed me off. Obviously, when you work in customer service, you get a lot of the yelling and the irate customers. And at the end of the day, my job is to assist you. That's what I'm here for. I'm employed to help you. So
Absolutely.
yelling at me if I'm giving you policy doesn't really make sense because we're not going to go anywhere. So, I had a gentleman who called in and he's like, I just received my glasses and y'all fucked it up. Like, just right off the bat. So I'm like, okay, sir. Well, can I have your order information? Because I don't even know who I'm talking to. Like, you haven't said anything about your order, about nothing. Just y'all fucking shit up. So I asked him for the information, and I'm like, "Okay, so what is the issue?" He's like, "I can't motherfucking see." He's like, I can't motherfucking see. I asked for these glasses to be able to see over my fucking contacts, and I can't see. So I'm like, okay. So I place him on a brief hold because I'm like, I need the hold for me and for you. Because I don't know why you're so pissed, but I'm gonna just take this minute for myself and try to get some background. So I scroll up and I see that he sent an email that specifically said, please use this prescription to create these eyeglasses in this size and this color. We send an email back confirming what he sent us, and we sent him that prescription. And I mean that those pairs of glasses using that prescription. So I'm like, all right, because sometimes when people are older, they be confused with like certain processes, especially when it's done online. Like they can confuse an order for a basic pair of readers with a prescription pair of readers, which is definitely a difference because you can go buy a basic pair of readers in like Walmart and it'll just have like a strength of like 1.00, which is like a magnification. So
Okay.
yeah, it'll be something like that. But if you needed a prescription, then that'll be a prescription specifically for you to assist you with reading and correcting your vision.
Gotcha.
So since he's saying these are supposed to be for me using my fucking contacts that I can't see, and if I would have known that, I wouldn't have got the. And I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to troubleshoot because I'm looking at the prescription. It's correct. This is what you sent us. Okay. So I'm like, okay, sir, what did you mean to order readers, like basic readers? Hell the fuck. So that question shot him through the roof. So I'm like, all right. So now we have to stop yelling, or I can continue to assist you, sir. Like you have to stop yelling. You have to refrain from using foul language. And I'm trying to use my good voice because it's starting to go
Your
a little
customer
left.
service.
Yeah, I'm trying to use that voice. It's kind of going a little left. And I was like, you know what? Because after that, he kept cussing. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to transfer you to a supervisor. And I was scared to do that because they usually tell us that we can't do that until they ask for one, until they ask to be transferred to one.
So you get.
I'm not about to. So yeah, I was like, it's either I'm about to transfer him or he getting hung up on. Them is the only two options here. So I transferred, and I'm explaining to her the situation, and she act like she don't want to click over to continue with the conversation. So she's asking me multiple questions that I've already answered. You can see you wasting time. He hangs up, and then I take a break. She was like, I'm sorry that you had to deal with that. Go ahead and take a moment for yourself. I still have his profile open. So when he hangs up, he called back. And he get another advisor and run the same motherfucking shit, blah, 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 back. That person did the same thing I did. He hung up again and called back. So he was like terrorizing. It was pretty crazy. And at the end of the day, I don't know what the hell happened with his order or if it was solved or not.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. You know, that seems stressful, bro. Because personally, I know me and you don't like yelling and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like getting cussed at.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't going for I ain't going for none of that. So if you really don't want to talk to me,
Yeah.
or you really don't want to speak to me in a manner that I'm gonna sit here and
You
can go ahead and go to hell, buddy. You can
and quit.
You and your glasses and go to hell.
Yeah.
Both of you guys
With
can go to hell.
Vaseline draws.
And all that shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
And all that shit. So you have 2 children.
Yes.
Who are my nieces.
Yes, I do.
And I love them dearly.
Yeah.
So how is it with motherhood? Because you know what's crazy? When you first said that you were pregnant with Bailey, it never registered to me that you're having a baby. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Because obviously, well, not obviously, I'm the younger brother, but I'm never been the younger brother. I feel like I've always been the big brother. You know, don't look like that. Don't look like that.
I was confused.
Don't look like that.
How do you feel? How do you feel like that?
What you mean?
Like what makes you feel like a big brother?
I'm bigger than you. That's 1. 2, you can't be my eyes. 3, hey, if somebody do something to you, I got you. You know what I mean? And vice versa. But mine people are gonna be a little bit bigger. So I feel like I should be the big brother.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But that's besides the point. You changing the subject.
I just had to get that clarified.
No, I get it. So like I've always felt like the big brother, like I was saying, and I feel like everybody else sees that too. So like I was saying, since that is the case, yeah, when you were like, oh yeah, I'm pregnant or whatever, and you kept getting bigger, and I was just like not really comprehending that you're getting pregnant. And then you had her, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's not hers. Like, you know, she just came out to somewhere.
Where the babies come
Yeah, it's where the babies come from. You know what I mean? So it never really registered that, you know, you're having a kid. So now that you have 2 of them, I
Mhm.
think it's finally sunken in that, okay, she is a mother. You know what I mean? So how does it feel to be a mom now or a parent in general?
Um, I love being a mother. I love my kids. I think that it is definitely a job. Um, it's also rewarding. Like I don't get the love or the my kids just give me something that no one else could give me, honestly. And it's beautiful to look at them and watch them grow and learn stuff daily. And I take the job that I have to make sure that they grow into functioning women that can take care of themselves with sense and skill is something that I make sure I work on every day. And in order for that to happen, it has to be a consistent thing, which can be tiring if because I am very consistent. I am very hands on with them. So sometimes I feel that it can be too much, or I can seem like I'm doing too much because with Bailey, she her dad is amazing. JR is amazing.
Shout out to you, my boy.
Yeah, JR is amazing. He is probably like one of the best dads that I could have ever hoped for her. But as far as being a disciplinary parent, that does not exist.
'Cause
So
he loves her and he loves her so much.
yeah, this is his only child, and Bailey can do no wrong, but Bailey is very intelligent. So, like, while he thinks this is a baby, Bailey knows exactly what she be doing. When she comes home with mommy, she cleans her room, she picks up after herself. They know how to put their plates in the sink, they make their beds, like, all these things. She's very functional. My house runs without me having to do stuff sometimes because of how functional they are. When she goes with her dad, it's like, "Oh," it's even this voice that happens that pisses me off that she does. Like, "Oh, I can't do nothing, and I can't be in my bed, and I don't wanna." No, please, please, and especially when it's done in front of me. Like, if he says something to her and he's dropping her off and she dismisses it, I have to give her that Ike Turner look real quick. Like, I know, I know you is not ignoring your dad, or I know you heard him. I don't hear no okay. I don't hear no acknowledgement. That's a problem. So, I don't know. I do think that I struggled within the last couple of years with the fact that I felt like I allowed myself to be a product of my environment growing up because we did grow up in different places. So
Mhm,
growing up in Inglewood, like all that was around me was gang violence, violence,
mhm.
young pregnancies, uh, just not something that made me feel like the next steps should be college and building my future.
Mhm,
I was more so focused on making some money because I was after a certain point, we didn't have the most money
mhm,
with when I was with mommy.
mhm.
So I just wanted to go get a job, which is what I did immediately after I graduated. That's the first thing I did was got a job up at up the street, Big Wang's Wings.
Yeah,
Shout
but
out to
I
y'all.
remember that shit. The ghetto
That
ass.
shit was that shit was delicious.
That shit
Okay.
crazy.
But yeah, I allowed myself to be a product of that because it was a lot of fighting, a lot of suspensions. I mean, I'll be walking down the street and I get banged on. It's just like, look at me. I got a backpack on.
Look at
I'm a
me!
female.
Look at
Yeah, I'm a
me!
female. I'm just trying to go home. Like I didn't think I had to fight for my life to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, when I finished, I think there was a lot of when I finished school, I think there was a lot of issues that I had internally, a lot of things that I was dealing with that allowed me to search for love in places that I shouldn't have. Which led me to jumping into relationships with older men, um, and then eventually landing myself living with JR's sister, which is how I met JR. I met JR through his sister because
Oh,
I
I didn't
was
know that.
I was living with her.
Oh, shit. So you ended up fucking her, sister after you she
Huh?
No,
Her
no,
what?
I'm saying, like, her brother.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, she hooked us up,
Oh, okay, got you. I was about to
but
say that's kinda crazy.
she didn't think that it was gonna be anything like
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, and then we end up really being together, and she was salty and almost had to beat her up. But
How's she gonna hook y'all up and then
so she decided, because we worked at Home Depot, and I know people are gonna see this and be like, "This bitch messy."
this is the podcast, bro.
Yeah,
This is what it's
so
about. Being not being messy, you feel me? But just being
so
honest.
let me just so after I finished school, I originally moved in with Kijera, our cousin. That was the first place I lived after I moved out with
Where?
mommy. She had an apartment like right around the corner. So
Kijera?
yeah,
I don't remember that.
you wouldn't have. You wasn't in the area.
Well, Negro, I just don't remember she was over there.
So
No?
yeah, she had got an apartment in Inglewood. So I was living with her,
For how
and
long?
I don't think it was more than 6 months. I don't think it was that long. I think it
Okay.
might have been like 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
And
Shout
I
out
don't,
to Kijera.
huh?
So shout out to Kijera.
Right. Shout out to Kijera. It was cool living with her. Like y'all, I was doing my wild thing. You know, it was just us girls in the apartment. So whatever I wanted to do, I was doing it. um, so after that, one of my friends that I went to high school with, I got her a job at the same Big Wings place.
Mhm.
And she hooked me up with her. She referred to him as her brother, and it sounds like a pattern. Like I just mess people's brothers, but it wasn't her blood brother. It was like family. Like he was like a part of the family, and it was like a brother, but it wasn't her real brother.
JR.
No,
Oh.
I'm explaining the timeline of where I was at after I left mommy. So
Got you. Okay, got you. So
Okay.
it had nothing to do with JR.
No.
Okay, got you.
So I'm working at Big Wings. My friend introduced me to this guy. I started dating the guy, and she told him that I was 18. I never told him that. Like I so we was messing around, okay? And then the conversation came up because I never lied about my age. That wasn't my thing.
Mm.
And I told him, like, 17, blah blah. I think it was my birthday coming up. And I told him I'll be 18, and he was kind of like, "So you're not?" I was like, "Nope. Never told you I was 18." And I guess the friend did. But he still continued to mess with me.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I think it was about like 25. I think it was 25, 24,
What in the
25.
fuck?
Yeah.
You
So
couldn't. And what the fuck? What are you talking? You couldn't go after somebody your age?
no, they were boring.
Anyways, bro,
I'm
go
giving.
ahead.
Don't judge me. I'm giving you
I don't.
my
I mean, I know. I feel
timeline
you. I'm trying not to
and
judge
what
you,
I
but
was thinking at
I'm
that
trying
age
not
because
to
I was
judge you.
searching for a lot. I was doing a lot
My
that I
fault.
should not have done.
My fault. Go ahead.
So I dated him. And one day I was like walking down the street in Inglewood, and a police car like kind of like was driving past, and I looked at the police car, and he was driving it. So that's how I found out.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's how I found out. At the time, he wasn't like officially a police officer, but he was working there. He was training.
Got you.
So I moved in with him after
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I remember
So
that.
I started living with him, and this was around the corner from Kijera. So I'm still up the street from mommy's house at this point. I started living with him. It was going fine. And okay. It was going fine, and then he drove motorcycles. So we were going to take a ride on a motorcycle one day, and I don't know what the hell was wrong with him, but we walked outside, and he told me to go in the house to get something that he already had in his hand. So I was just like, I'm confused. Like, I don't know, like, why am I going in the house to get something if you have it in your hand? And he went like, bitch, go in the house. And I'm like, oh, you tripping. Oh, I'm not going on the bike with you. I want to go back in the house. So just give me the keys so I can go back in the house. So he goes, bitch, I'm not giving you no keys, and you gonna sit here until I get back from my ride. So I was like, you is tripping. So I went and I sat on his bike. I tried to sit on his bike because I was like, you're not about to leave me sitting out here. Like, let me go back to the house. He pushed me and I fell on the floor like pretty hard. So as a result of that, I picked up his helmet and I smashed that bitch into like a million fucking pieces. Because at this point, you disrespecting me. You put your fucking hands on me. Fuck your helmet and fuck this bike. So
What helmet smashed into a million pieces?
Not a million, but it definitely broke and cracked.
Okay, I'm
And it
about to
was-
say
yeah.
that's a crazy helmet.
So after that, we ran into the house. Started fighting and shit. He wanted to throw my stuff around, so then I threw his stuff around. And then he started saying personal things about me that just hurt my feelings and shit. And I was trying to kick the trash can. There was a trash can. I was getting mad. So I'm like kicking the trash can and I kicked it once, kicked it twice. The trash can flew and my leg went through the wall of his bathroom. So when that happened, he was like, bitch. And he ran towards the couch and stuck his hand. And I knew that sorry, I scratched. God, that was the noise. I didn't fart, guys.
She,
Sorry.
she just shit on my podcast. Nah, that's crazy.
He
Shitty
stuck his
booty out.
hand
Wow.
in the couch, and I knew that he kept his gun there. So when he did that, I took off running and I ran to mommy's house. Um, and that was the last time that I lived there, pretty sure. And that's how I end up living with JR's sister
Mm,
because she offered me to come there.
mm,
Um, yeah, and I met JR. And then from there we went to go live with his dad.
mm.
And then we got pregnant with Bailey and we got
I
our
went to butt
apartment.
fuck nowhere. Oh no,
No,
that's before you
we
went to
had
butt
got an
fuck nowhere.
apartment right next to where his dad lives in the same complex. And then when we moved to
29,
yeah, Bailey was she
almost a
was
year. No,
no.
like
Cuz
6
we
months.
moved to Vegas when Bailey was a year. So we moved to 29 Palms and Bailey was a few months, yeah.
Mm. He was that young.
Mhm.
Peekaboo.
Yeah, and then Vegas when she was 1,
Got you.
right before she turned 1.
Got you. So, so okay. Thank you for letting me know. I didn't know anything about that. That's like it's pretty crazy. You would have
Yeah, I've had an actual crazy life, honestly.
yeah, man. So we don't really talk about this often. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So when mom and dad, well, not mom and dad split, but before that, I mean after that, when I had one with dad and you had one with mom, um, how'd that make you feel about our relationship? Because I know I was hurt as fuck. Because I was hurt about I felt like I wasn't involved, like I was out of the way between like everybody else except for dad. So I had some type of way, felt some type of way, and then with me and you it was like we don't talk no more. You know what I mean? So that hurt me. So I don't know how you felt like about that whole situation about me and your relationship.
I hate that you feel that way. I think that mommy made in my opinion, because of how Inglewood is.
Yeah, yeah. After that, we talked about it.
Yeah, I think that she made a good decision not to have you grow up there, because if something would happen to you, I think that would have devastated all of us. And around that, it's still in Inglewood till today. Shit happens,
Yeah.
bad shit happens, and you don't have to bring on the bad shit. It could just be happening, and you could just be there, and it happen to you. So, like, I would rather have had you grow up in the environment that you had because I feel like that helped you thrive, especially being with dad. I think that if you would have been where I was at, you would have been fucked up like me, honestly.
But you're not fuck. You know what? I don't think you give yourself enough credit about like the person that you are, and like the mother that you are too. Like you raised. They're still young,
Mhm.
but the manners and just how they are as little girls, like they're fucking amazing, bro.
Thank
Like I wouldn't have chosen any other nieces than them little motherfuckers.
you.
Like I love them to death. And you have so many talents that I feel like you haven't even tried to unlock yet.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's like a canvas, but you only painted just a little bit. Because I'm gonna do this other shit later. But
Mhm.
you're amazing, dude. And I want you to know that. I don't want you to think that just because you grew up in an environment that I didn't grow up in, that you had any less capabilities of being amazing or being a
Thank you.
person who is amazing now.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying that just because it's the podcast, but I'm saying that.
I hope not.
I'm saying that.
Boo, where's the boo
Boo, 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 boo.
button?
But I'm saying that because I really do love you, and I don't want you to feel some type of way about like your capabilities or anything. And the fact that you're going back to college is how's that? How's that? Let me just a little. You're going back to college. You feel me? How is that?
It's okay. I think it's still in the beginning, so I think that the finish line still seems so far away. But it feels good to be back in the saddle. I feel more because like I said, I went to school before. I just didn't complete it after I got pregnant with Aaron. It just was not an option with my morning sickness and shit. So um yeah, it feels good. I feel more productive. Like I feel like I'm doing more now, which makes me feel good. Because I do want to be able to look at my daughters and say, go to school and not just be saying it. Like I
Mhm.
want to be an example of what I want them to be. So it starts with me of what they're going to end up being like, and I want them to be amazing. So I have to shoot for the best, which is what I'm trying to do now.
You're really proving, leading by example,
Thank you.
of how a woman should be and how a woman should present herself, and how a woman should be just with everybody around her. Like you were literally like a light every
Oh.
time you come into the room. Every time I see you, it's like, oh my little Spencer. Even though I said that I was younger, I still look at you as a little sister because I want to protect you. And I think that's a big reason behind why I say I'm the big brother,
Mhm.
because I wouldn't want anything to happen to you, or like, just hearing that shit is like shit that you just
Right,
told me. You feel me?
right, right.
Get it cracking. You know what I mean? But no, you're amazing. You know? I love you, dude.
No, you too,
Truly
booty.
do.
Ooh.
Let me put him booty on blast, man.
He lets me call him booty, guys. Just kidding.
Chill out, bro. What do you think of our relationship now? Because I know when we grew up, we were damn near twins. Everywhere you went, I went. And oh yeah, I got a story for you guys. So me and Spencer were really close. We're really close growing up. And she is 4 years, 4 years, 3.5.
Sometimes 4, sometimes 3.
Yeah, so 3.5 years older than me. So when she would go to school, I wouldn't be in school. So I'd be at home. So when it first started, I wasn't tripping, right? And then you had to go to camp.
I went to was it summer? It wasn't summer though, because it was fucking snowing.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was like some winter
It was
with
some
some
camp, some
Christmas,
camp they
some
shouldn't have sent me to
yeah, some Christmas
because
thing.
I was miserable.
so so she's sitting there telling me, "Oh, bye, Ella, I'm gonna leave." I said, "Leave where? Like, where are you
This
going?"
is where we live.
This is where we live. What are you talking about? So I'm gonna go to camp. I said, "Oh, okay." So like the next day go by, and usually I go in her room and like watch some cartoons with her in the morning or whatever before she go to school, and she wasn't in there. So
Oh.
that shit pissed me off, bro. So she had her dolls in the garage. So I grabbed one of her favorite dolls,
Oh, wow, I forgot about
the
this.
baby alive John, the big head and the little the little
This
bottle
is
that go
fucking crazy. I can't believe you fucking did
the
this.
little bottle that go in the mouth, and I grabbed that hoe
Not the hoe.
and and I took it into her room and I continued to watch cartoons. But in her room she had, oh no, in Dejanay's room she had some whiteout. So I went into Dejanay's room. Dejanay's our other sister. I went to Dejanay's room and I got some whiteout. And I went back into your room with the dog. I don't know where mom and dad were, but I was
Exactly.
yeah. I don't know where they were.
Just a hoodlum.
But yeah, I went back in her room and I just started painting her face with the whiteout.
I was
And
devastated.
just it felt good afterwards. I didn't feel
That
like
is crazy. Because why would you do that and then say it felt good? I came home to my dog and was like, "Ah! What happened to her?"
I don't
It
know.
was in the eyes, the mouth, the nose. He was evil, guys. That was the sum of the story,
I
basically.
was evil.
That was evil.
So you acting like we didn't do stuff to Dejanay her room, and so don't just say because you would be the mastermind. So
We were masterminds together.
okay. So growing up, I had a really bad speech impediment, really bad. So nobody could understand me but Spencer. So
Mhm.
I couldn't say my S's. So Spencer's name used to be Bem Bem.
Yes. Instead of
Um,
Spencer, he would
it's-
have to say Bim Bim.
I don't know why that came to that was created, but it
Sound.
made sense to me. So I used to call her. So I used to call her Bim Bim. But so since nobody could really understand what I was saying, I'll just tell Spencer, and she would translate for me to like other people. So if I was like, "Oh, I want to go to the park or something," she's like, "Oh, he said he wants donuts." It's not what the fuck I said. But
I would not do that
you would do
every
that often. He said
time.
he wants to go to the park and he wants donuts
Not
and ice
every
cream.
time, but I would definitely translate most of the time, but if I wanted something at the time, I would definitely say, like, something more interesting. Because if it was just like, "Oh, I want a sucker." He said he wants a sucker, if we can have some McDonald's after and then some I mean, you were being benefited with it too. I
Yeah, I know.
mean,
I just didn't like being like I didn't.
I get it
You
because
feel me?
you were talking and relying on me to relay.
You feel me? And I would get really frustrated
Yes.
when you couldn't
Yes.
understand me.
Yeah, so that was very wrong.
You know what I mean? But I appreciate you for like putting me on. And all that. But anyways, that's besides the point. So our sister Dejanay, who's what 10? She's 10 years older than me
She's 7 older.
and 7
Yeah,
older than
7 years,
me.
yeah.
So we used to make little. We one day we made a whole like plan. Like I don't know if you remember that. We had paper and we was sitting there sketching out when she was gonna leave, when she was gonna come back, and we would just go in her room and fuck with shit. I don't know what we put. What did we put in her? What did we put in her perfume?
Um, uh, toilet water?
Yeah, I think it was toilet water. I was gonna say water, but I knew it wasn't just water. So I think we put toilet water in her perfume.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
We put.
I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry, Nay. But
No,
we
I'm
were
sorry. I'm sorry too.
we
But
were kids and we just felt like you and Brittany were just so fucking mean. Like
yeah, we just wanted to kick it, and y'all just like get out and leave.
we
And I just
thought
didn't
y'all was so
appreciate
mean.
that shit.
And we was younger, we was in cahoots. So like, I'm sorry, but
Well, you should have been nicer to us, and you wouldn't have had toilet water perfume.
nigga, we was fucked up. We used to watch her spray it on and just smile like, you smell nice today.
I remember both of us standing by the door, just watching.
Smiling. It's like, what the fuck are y'all laughing at?
Nothing. We just
We're
walking
just sitting
away,
here.
and then we walk away sitting there going like this. We walk away sitting there.
I hope you like a new perfume, motherfucker. It was to the point where it was like, oh, y'all mean to us today? Oh, don't worry about it.
We gonna
We
get you.
finna write one of them plans up a little later on for y'all motherfucking ass.
We gonna get your ass back. Don't worry, we can get that
Don't
shit
trip.
back in
We
blood.
We
What?
trying to get our lick back. It wasn't even a problem. All right, yeah, be mean. Love ya.
Now, my favorite memory that we had when we was younger, when we used to cook, when we used to cook olives on the lamp.
Whew.
So we used to have a lamp, the lamp, regular lamp, so the shades come off,
Mhm.
and
Expose the light
expose
bulb.
the light bulb, and we was really adventurous. We would do stuff that we thought would make sense.
Yeah. And we
You know
were
what I
gonna
mean?
eat some olives.
Exactly. We wanted some olives, and
We wanted
mom
to
used
be
to
toasty.
the green Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wanted them to be toasty. We didn't want no
Yeah.
regular out the jar.
You
So
feel me?
we figured we plugged the lamp up. The lamp was on, and we took these olives and cut them in half, and then put them on top of the light bulb.
And let and let them cook for a little bit. So we was good for like a good like 8.
Yeah, we was
We was good roasting and cooking.
delicious.
And then
the juices,
the juices
start going into
the juices
lamp
from the olive on the
and
last one.
the light bulb, and that shit said boom and exploded, and it hit the fucking dresser and it came right back up. So we was standing there like, because we thought it was going to be an explosion fire, but luckily it just exploded. But there was definitely a burn mark on my dresser after that. I'm pretty sure mommy asked, like, what is this? And we was like, no, crazy. I have no idea what
I
happened.
don't know what's happened.
But my light's not working anymore.
Might need a new light bulb.
I need a new light, please. This one went out. Stupid light bulbs.
Or did you burn the house down?
What?
Or did I? No, when you started not burning the house down.
I didn't burn the house down.
You
What
damn near
happened
burned the house
was
down.
we were hungry. So this was a thing that I did for the both of us. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Nene was in the computer room probably on MySpace or something. AIM,
Mhm.
something that was popping back then.
You were stupid as hell.
But I was hungry. She didn't seem like she was getting up from the computer, making us enough food no time soon. So I was like, fuck it, I'm like, you gonna have some chicken tenders? You was like, hell yeah. So I'm like, bet. I go in the kitchen, and mind you, she could see me from where she was sitting. There was a whole opening window to the kitchen from the computer room, so she could see me in there. She just, I don't know. Maybe she like couldn't
She didn't give a
hear.
damn.
Maybe it was music in the air, or maybe she didn't care. Maybe she thought I was making a sandwich. Whatever the fuck. So I turned on the oven, put it on 425, got the thing for the tenders, and it was. Looking back on it, I thought it was okay to put that in the oven, but it was actually a plastic lid to something, some type of container. So I put the frozen chicken tenders on there, put it in the oven. The plastic melts. And I'm thinking we just getting some chicken tenders
We
cooking up.
was in the kitchen sitting
We
here.
like
Chicken,
waiting,
chicken.
and then all of a sudden, like it started getting real smoky. Like, it's like, what's going on? Couldn't see the kitchen. Alarms start going off. It's a fucking fire. And then it's like, oh my God, the fire truck came, and it's all these sirens, and it smells like burnt plastic. And they made us go outside. So I'm just standing outside. I remember, and I looked up at the sky, and I'm like, God.
You were there.
If you're listening to me, please don't let my mom kill me, 'cause she's gonna kill me. And I just remember like thinking, like, I just want to go to sleep. I really wanted to go take a nap and then wake up and everything is gonna be okay. So it wasn't nothing burned down though, but we couldn't use the oven anymore because it would smell like plastic. So sorry.
That was good times, man. That was great times. We was what, like
I don't know about
Six.
ages. I'm not even good with ages.
6 and 11, maybe 6 and 10, 6 and
Who knows?
9,
Who knows?
7 and 11,
Who knows?
something like that. Something like that.
So you've been asking stuff about me. What about you? How is your mental?
Thank you for asking. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
My mental is it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Um, the transition from being with dad to being with Dolores kind of fucked me up a little bit.
Mhm,
I'm not gonna lie. Because I wasn't ready to leave.
mhm.
You know what I mean? I still feel like a baby. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna chill with dad for a cool minute.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's like the only thing that's still be in my mind because it's like it's hard for me to wake up and be like, oh, I can't see Pop. Like I can't go in the morning, but all right, Pop, I see you. I'm going to work or I'm going to school or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, and now transitioning to being like the man of the house in somebody else's house, it's kind of weird to me. You know what I mean? But her family, like her mom and her, like love me to death. So there's no bad blood or nothing. It's just my mental itself is it's kind of hard for me to adjust to that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. But me and dad had a talk, and he was pretty much saying this this move wasn't for you, it was for us, and not in a bad because when he first said it, I was like, the hell are you talking about?
Clutch in my pearl.
You feel me? But you know, Pop, he didn't mean it like that. He was just saying, um, I feel like you're grown enough now to be on your own, and this transition will be easier for us. So I said, all right, okay, cool. I'm still crying. That's crazy.
Mhm.
What if I wasn't ready to go? But um,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah,
Well, I'm glad that you're okay.
yeah. No, I'm good. It's like you transitioned out the house way faster than I did. So you probably like, well, grow up a little bit. You know what I
No, I
mean?
don't think that at all. If I and I feel like this might sound offensive, but I don't at the time when I moved out, um, I just felt like that was the best thing at the time for everyone.
Mm,
But I also was my mindset was just fucked up. I had been through shit at that point.
mm,
So I was just trying to basically be grown. And I think that if I did have the opportunity to stay home and go to school and be a kid still, like you were able to do, I think that that's amazing. And I would definitely have done that. So I don't judge you for
thank you,
that at all.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course.
I know you a gangster and shit, so you.
I didn't want to be one. I promise you, I didn't. Like my first fight at Inglewood, it was not some shit that I wanted to do, like at all. And I feel like that should just ignite it. Like something at that point, I was just like, "Fuck it," like who wants to smoke? But like originally, with my mom, it was like you better not fight. Like, you can't go to school to fight because mommy grew up fighting. So it's like, if
Mhm.
you go to school and you fight, you're gonna get in trouble. You're going there for learning. You're not going there for fighting. So that's never something that I was trying to do. But I ended up dating someone who I don't know. It's weird because he was like nerdy, but he was still popular, which was my kind of jam. Like I liked
A
nerds.
light skinned dude?
You wouldn't know him because it was at Inglewood.
I know, but didn't you have a light skin? Isn't was that
Yeah,
after
but he
Inglewood?
but he didn't go to Inglewood.
Oh, so I knew him.
It was around the same. Wait, Kurt, you might be talking about Curtis.
Yeah, Curtis.
Yeah, I'm not talking about him.
Okay.
But he was involved in one of my fights though.
Okay.
Yeah, he jumped in for me.
No,
Shout out to Curtis.
I would have done the same. I was telling Dolores, like, if she ever got even tried to get jumped, I'm fighting.
Yeah, I didn't get jumped, but he just like
Oh, that's crazy.
I didn't get jumped. No,
He was just like, well, I'm gonna take
because
it
my
once.
back, I was actually in the bathroom because when the fight that happened with him, I wasn't prepared for that fight because I didn't want to fight the girl.
Mm.
So she basically just started swinging on me, and I definitely lost that fight. Like I'm not
Oh,
no
that makes
weirdo.
sense
Like
for you.
I could definitely. So after that, like I had on clip-ins and stuff. So she pulled out my clip-ins. So I'm like picking up my clip-ins, and I called mommy, and I walked to the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom trying to tell mommy what happened because the bitch mom jumped the fence. She jumped the fence to the school to try to fight me too. So I'm in the bathroom telling her what happened. The girl tried to come into the bathroom and swung. And when she swung, my back was turned. So Curtis just like, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to him for sure. But no, my first fight, the girl was mad because I was dating this boy, and I guess she used to date him. So it seemed like a setup because some other dude came and I'm on my phone. He came, snatched my phone out of my hand, and then ran to a crowd of girls that did not like me. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I go over to the crowd of girls and the dude, and I'm like, hey, like, can I get my phone back? Like, what the fuck? And he like looking at me, and the girl's like, nah, don't give that bitch her phone back. Chuck her phone, chuck her phone. I'm like, okay, this is what we're on. So I start talking shit about the girl. So at this point, it's arguing and noise. People start crowding around, and I start talking shit about her shoes. Like, bitch, what are those? Like, they were like some weird, like Tom, but not Toms with a bow and some other bullshit. So I'm like, those look real crazy. Like, I just start flaming her. So she got mad, and she had a muffin in her fucking hand from lunch and threw the muffin hard as fuck. These muffins already hard as fuck. And you gonna throw a muffin at my chest and that shit hit me hard. So I'm like, bitch, like to me, you just hit me.
Yeah.
So from that, snatched her up, we started fighting. We fighting. And then the security come and he was big as fuck. I'm fighting, he came, hit me like a linebacker. Ugh. So I'm like, fuck, I can't breathe now. He got my fucking hands like this. Oh, he
The
got
security
him stuck.
guard?
Yeah, he got him stuck like this. One of the girls came around the corner, not around the corner, but around the crowd and punched me dead in my face. And I couldn't because I had my hands like this. So since she punched me in my face, that's how my nose ring fell out. Because before that, I was fine. But when she did that, my nose ring fell out. So I turned around, I punched this nigga in his face. Because, like, nigga, how the fuck you hold me?
Yeah.
And this girl then came and punched me in my shit. So she let me go. He let me go, and I started fighting. And then, yeah, it was basically, I was basically supposed to get jumped at that point. But they didn't succeed.
It's
and
a one-on-one.
then at that point, I was just on the floor, like about to have an asthma attack, just because I was so fucking tired from all that shit. I wasn't hurt or nothing, but I called mommy and I'm telling her what happened, and she like, "Are you hurt?" And I was like, "No." She was like, "Is your face fucked up?" Like, "No." She threw a muffin at me, and she was like, "All right, it's cool. I'll be there in a minute." And I was like, because I was scared. I was crying 'cause I thought I was gonna get in trouble.
But this bitch threw a muffin at you.
Right. And that's what mommy told them in the meeting. She was like, so the girls, and the principal was like, so did you throw a muffin at her? You're like, well.
Well, I guess we're done here.
Yeah, you did it first. So that's how that went.
Gotcha.
Yep. I never had fights at Artesia, but I definitely had like arguments, and they would like suspend me for that. Which I thought, well, I mean, Artesia was, I don't know, because they suspended me for sexual harassment one time. And that shit was fucking crazy. Cause like, I remember the teacher. The teacher was Miss Sanchez, and I'm standing there like waiting to ask her a question. And there's a dude standing next to me, and I said something to him. I don't even know what the fuck. We were talking about nothing sexual. Like, why would I be talking about some sexual shit while I'm standing in front of you trying to ask you a Spanish question? And she heard
in Espanol.
and she heard something. Was like, "What did you say? That's sexual harassment. Go to the office." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And really got suspended for that.
That's
And then they
crazy.
sent me to across the street for anger management, which made my shit worse because there was a bunch of racist motherfuckers in there.
Was it, Path? Not Path.
I think it was like
Stat.
ABC
Yeah, the
something.
ABC, the, adult school.
Yeah, it was right
It was
there.
probably Step.
It was right there. And that shit didn't help. And dad just thought I was just like a troubled, crazy child.
Well, our teacher would do that to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't our teachers that did that to me, but like our teacher didn't help. And I think I just didn't I didn't transition well from being with mommy to being with dad.
Yeah.
Um I felt like me and dad we just weren't seeing eye to eye.
Mhm.
And I feel like he felt like I hated him, but I don't think he understood that maybe my daughter dealing with something or maybe something happened to my kid and that's why she's reacting that way. Um so we bumped heads because of that, and then obviously with Lonnie coming into it, I just felt like it was quick for me, and then I didn't feel like I had a chance to understand and transition and accept. Um,
What what's that smile for?
I don't know, cause I don't wanna say anything that's offensive to anyone, so
But
it
you're
was
good now, though.
Hmm?
But you're good now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, that's all that matters. I don't think it'd be anything offensive.
Yeah, I'm good now, I'm an adult now, I can't be worried about some shit that happened when I was 10, but I'm
Yeah,
just saying, like, as a kid, like, I think that's why it was such a hard thing because it was like a battle with multiple
things.
yeah,
Got you,
within that house.
got you. So you transitioned to a great person, though.
Thanks.
Yeah, so how you think our relationship is now?
I think it's
Or what do you think that what would you want to change or improve or
I think it's good. I think that we don't really know each other. And I say that because I know that you're my brother.
Mhm,
I know your name's Cody. I know that you're in school. I know basic things about you, but as far as like who you are, I don't feel like we know each other in
mhm,
that aspect. I feel like we know each other surface level. Like us as adults, I don't
mhm,
feel like I know you as an adult, and I don't feel like you know me as an adult.
mhm. And why do you think it's just 'cause, like, a talking wise, or is it just, like, the experience wise? Because I feel like you only know people from experience, right? I can tell you, like I said, I lie just for fun. So, I can tell you, like, a whole bunch of shit, but, like, if you see it, then it's gonna be different.
I think what was like affecting us originally from like being like way more close and having more better communication was because I think like when we grew up, I think that you also for then this is just how I felt. I felt like you also felt like I was a bad kid or like I just was angry or I was mean to dad. Like I do feel like you thought that. Like I just hated dad and I didn't like him and I feel like you like kind of took a stance on the opposite side from
Mhm,
me with that instead of trying to understand me as well, instead of just pinpointing me as mean ass, angry ass Spencer. Like, you know what I mean?
mhm,
So I feel like that affected our communication to a certain point because I wasn't really trying to have too much of an in-depth conversation because I felt like when we did before, like certain conversations came up where it would be like, well, that's not true. Like, that didn't happen or well, dad said this. You know what I mean? Like
mhm.
that prevented me from wanting to talk to you in that way.
It's understandable. It's understandable. I didn't think you were a bad kid. I would just hear dad's side, and I'm like, "No, he does love you." Like, he doesn't think anything like that. It wouldn't be like I'm taking his side, but I hear what he's saying, and I hear that, like, he wants to help you, and I hear that, he wants to make an impact in you, but it's like you didn't hear that from him. Not that saying he didn't say that he didn't love you or anything, but, um, the conversations that you 2 would have, it wasn't really a productive conversations, I would say. So, it would be like me trying to, like, vouch for him, like, "Hey, no, like, Spencer, like, you not that you're tripping, but, like, he loves you, and I want you to know that." So, it wasn't like me trying to take sides, it was like me trying to I feel like I could have consoled you in a different way, if that makes sense. I was trying to console you, but it wasn't in a way that you needed.
I think it's a split happened that was unfortunate where dad felt like everyone was against him. I think he felt like I was against him, like mommy was against him, like Nene was against him. And then there's you who understood, who we can tell all these things to, and you felt like you had to defend or protect him on his side because I don't think you or him felt like we were on the same page as him or that we were on the same team. Um, I've always known that my dad loves me. I never did not think that. I just think certain like divorces are nasty.
Mhm.
And I think there was a lot of situations um that affected me in ways and I don't think that I don't know. Like I said, I just feel like he didn't think that I wanted to be around him or that I cared or that nothing like
Mhm.
that when I did.
Mhm.
But I don't know how to communicate that to
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
and I don't wanna get yelled at. I don't wanna have no conversation where it gets too crazy, and then also, I am a teenager, so my attitude can be, like, right on the cusp,
Yeah.
and then I do think that I'm more like dad than you are in certain
Yeah,
aspects,
absolutely.
especially with his anger and his patience. Like, I think I have all that. So when it's like, okay, I'm trying to talk to you and you try to talk to me, but it's not doing that right now. So then fuck it. So fuck it. And I think that, like I said, I don't think he felt like I was supportive of his marriage either. And I felt like he took that very personal and that affected our relationship as well, which was also unfortunate.
Mhm.
Um, I've always thought that Lonnie was a good person. I think my kids love her. I think that I'm happy that he has a wife that loves him and that takes care of him. I am happy for them. I just feel like when I was a child coming into the situation where my parents are separating, I think that the focus could have been more on developing a relationship with me as a female, as a little girl, and as her being a mom coming into the household as a second mom.
Mhm.
You know, like I felt like yes, she did do things like, oh, let's go to Target and let's go shopping for this. But I didn't really feel like I knew her. I just feel like I had to go do these things because you're with my dad, but I don't really feel like you're interested in knowing who I am
Mhm.
or what I like to do or anything like that. I feel like you're doing that because I'm your husband's daughter. And then it was just a lot of conflict that didn't assist. Um Yeah, I felt like it was like since we didn't have since I didn't feel like we had time to really get to know each other, but then it was definitely times where as a child, you're going on the computer and you're looking for stuff that I'm doing to tell my dad, and then now I'm getting in trouble. Like I felt like she was like going out of her way to do certain things and not others.
Mhm.
Because you taking the time to do research to find my Facebook and to show my dad pictures and stuff that I'm putting on Facebook in the middle of the night. But outside of that, I don't feel like we had a relationship.
I
But to this day, I don't hold any grudges towards anybody. I think I just don't. I think
but
everyone's great.
so you how so how do you feel like your relationships are now? Now that you've gotten older and like you can see things from a different perspective.
Mhm.
Um, how would you say your relationship is now with both of them?
I think it's good.
You want to expand on that?
I think it's good. I mean, I'm not out here that often. I think things are even better with my dad now.
Mm,
I think he understands me more now, and he understands that I come in peace. Like, you know, and that I love him and that I don't think anything bad of him at all. And I think that helps with us. And like I said, with Lonnie, um, I think she's a good person. I think she's good for him and my kids love her. So like, yeah, I think everything is good.
good, good. That's what I like to hear. That's
Mhm.
what I like to hear because I feel like you did have an attitude like towards like certain things, and it would be like, and I would see it in your eyes, right when it would happen.
I'm just going to tell you this because When I was in middle school, I was sexually assaulted. Um, and from that point on, it changed me as a person 1,000,000%. So, for that to have happened, um, I remember going to school the next day and sitting there feeling like I felt like I wasn't Spencer anymore. So it was hard for me to interact with you guys the same way when I wasn't the same. So that attitude, it wasn't it wasn't supposed to be towards you guys intentionally, but I didn't know how to deal with that. So that's why I was the way that I was.
Well, you've never told me that before.
Mhm.
It's a lot. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
It's not fine.
It's not fine, but it's a part of the story, which is why I'm saying, like, we don't know each other fully because
Yeah.
we haven't talked through stuff like this. For you to understand me as a whole, as far as who I am today as a woman and stuff that I struggle with, things that I've been through, all that stuff, we haven't had that conversation. So it's a reason for everything. I didn't want you guys to feel like I was evil or had an attitude or
It
nothing
wasn't
like that.
it wasn't like that you were evil, but I could sense that something like you weren't the same as far as like when we were younger and stuff. Like you weren't like the same.
Right.
Um, it's like your happiness and stuff. And like when you don't understand something like that or you don't know, then yeah, people are gonna probably make assumptions.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But that didn't mean that I loved you any less than before or anything. I just didn't understand.
Mhm.
But now I do, and it doesn't really change my perspective of you as far as it does a little bit as far as how strong you are as a person. That's the only thing that changes. That's but thank you for being like the epitome of what my podcast is
Mm.
supposed to be. Vulnerability
It was my pleasure.
no, but yeah, do I love you, man?
I
I
love you
really do.
too.
And I hope that this is why I like doing my podcast because it opens up more doors for people who I find or who I love dearly. Like just how me and mom had a conversation here, and now our relationship is better than ever. I'm hoping that this conversation that we have or we had today um, opens up more doors than when we were fucking younger. You know, I hope to. I want to get back to how we were when we were younger.
Mhm.
And got me crying too. And I do apologize for not being there for you when you probably needed it the most. So I hope that you don't feel like you can't share anything else with me, and I hope that this is a breaking point to a brand new sister and brother bond that I know we can still have.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
me too.
Because I do love
I love you too. God damn it.
you. Ooh, ooh. Okay, man. It's about it's about to hit an hour right now. Anyway, is there anything else that you would like to say or like to ask or anything like that?
No, I'm proud of you. I think your podcast is amazing, and I think that it'll continue to grow, and I'm excited to watch it. And thank you for having me on
No, thank you for being on it. I didn't know I was gonna cry today, but I had a feeling. You know,
it.
I had a feeling that it was gonna be some type of tears. Um, but I'm also proud of you. I hope that I can be half the parent that you are with your kids when I get older.
You'll be
Um,
amazing.
thank you. I hope I'm like you when I get older. But like I said, I really do love you, and I hope our relationship just builds from here, and we can kumbaya out of here and hold hands like we used to when we were younger,
Of
getting ice
course.
cream and shit.
Give me a high five.
You're stupid. But is there anything that you want to shout out or say before we close out?
I love everyone that we talked about today. All right, no hard feelings, and that's it.
For sure. Well, thank you again for coming on here. I love you again, and thank you guys for watching and listening. If you're just listening, um, from another episode of KP More Than a Voice. Peace, love, and positivity brings me happiness, and happiness brings me power. Peace with love.